Just a reminder, we have 254 videos to watch on my channel. The new Mustang GT, Alfa Romeo, BMWs, and of course some nice trucks. In the meantime, let's go to the old homestead and see what they dropped off in my driveway this week. So we've been training you to attack cats for 3 months, and I come out here and what do I see? Taking a nap with a cat. I can't believe this. He doesn't look too worried. Get him! Get him, boy! I'm expecting an Audi A5 convertible delivery today, and I see my mailbox. I find some Audi paperwork and an Audi key, so let's go outside and see what we've got. Well, it doesn't look like an Audi A5 convertible to me. Looks like they sent me the A4 sedan instead. That's okay, after a week of driving that cramped Mustang GT, it's nice to get a four-door sedan for a while. One Audi's just as good as the other. So I'm going to get the key, load up my cameras, we'll go to our test track and see how this thing drives, so stay tuned. The first order of business is to look under the hood. The base engine is a 190 horsepower, 4-cylinder. We got the 252 horsepower turbo, as you see here. And if you want to upgrade, there is a 354 horsepower V6, which I wanted but didn't get. The transmission offered with our engine is a 7-speed automatic. I'm told it's a dual clutch, although it doesn't say that on the paperwork. And if you like to shift manually yourself, the paddle shifters are on the steering wheel to do so. And as I've said in my videos many times, paddle shifters belong on the steering wheel where they can be reached by your fingertips 100% of the time, not on the steering column like the Italians do where they can only reach part of the time. The Germans, Audi, Mercedes, BMW, they put them here and they get it right. Fuel economy rating for this particular power plant is 24 in the city, 34 on the highway with 27 overall. For maximum traction on wet roads, we do get all-wheel drive, by the way. If you're interested in the real-world fuel economy, our computer says it all. In the past 1,153 miles, 25.1 mpg. Sounds pretty good to me. And today, in 21 miles of city driving, we're doing 24.1. We'll be doing a lot more driving in this video and getting more figures, so stay tuned. This particular Audi came with LED headlights that are supposed to be pretty potent, so we're going to take these out tonight and see how they perform. It's dark enough, so we'll take these headlights out and see how they perform. Look pretty bright to me. Here we have the headlights on a building 100 feet away. Bright light, rides a little low to the ground. Now we go to high beam. Definitely bright and high off the ground. Here we have the brights on the building 300 feet away, plenty of light, a good wide spread. Go to low beam, just barely reaches out. Excellent lights for city driving. And here we have excellent lights for off-road and back-road driving. One thing I like about Audi cars in general, and this car in particular, is the way all of the controls light up at night. Now it's difficult to see because this camera isn't really designed for dark use, but we'll do the best we can. The controls for the infotainment system, very bright, easy to find in the dark. Same with the power mirror and power window controls. Other buttons on the door. Even the volume knob for the radio. Like the inside of a 747 jumbo jet. And an excellent camera system, giving a 360-degree view if you need it. Since we're looking at the pretty lights, I just did 25 miles, averaging, actually it was 66 miles per hour, but I'm sitting here, dropped to 62 miles per hour. But still comes to 30.3 mpg, and that's what counts, and I'm very impressed. On this backcountry road, there's a lot of wildlife you do not want to hit with your vehicle. Small, smelly skunks, big, nasty mountain lions. That's why it's important to have a good set of headlights. And we definitely have that here, at least on the bright setting. There's too many vampire bats and rattlesnakes out here in the dark, so we're going to go back out in the daylight where it's safer and continue our review. By the way, here's the fuel economy on my return trip, for those interested. Since we're sitting inside, we might as well review the cabin. Audi's always had some of the best interiors on the planet, and I see that tradition continues. The second row seating is adequate for two medium-sized adults, and the seats are very comfortable for long trips. If you watch my videos, you know I like very simple controls. There's going to be a couple of buttons and switches. These knob computer systems we find on German cars usually don't impress me, but in this case I have no complaints because this was a very simple system to learn. Press the menu button. We have Audi smartphone interface, Audi Connect, map, navigation, telephone, media, radio, sound, vehicle. With comfort mode, dynamic, individual, automatic. Pretty simple. It only took me about 10 minutes to figure out how to program my favorite stations. You can change the view of the gauge cluster like so. I find it rather interesting. You can pull up the navigation on the gauge cluster, which is odd because you can also have the same navigation over here. One for your right eye and one for your left eye, I guess. The glove box isn't the largest I've ever seen, but adequate enough. The sun visors slide back and forth to keep the sun out of the side windows. Like so. Part of what you're paying for are these comfortable seats, some of the best in the industry. If you need more storage, there's a console in between the seats where you put your wallet and your very sophisticated Walmart flip phone. The only complaint I originally had was this fake wood trim, but I did some research and found out it's not fake wood, it's real. In fact, on the window sticker it says natural gray oak wood inlays, an extra $350, so it better be real. Pardon my shaky hand. Overall, the cabin design is superb. I can't find anything to complain about. Audi got it right. Once you step out of the cabin, I did have my minor beef that I always have in my videos on most German cars, the infamous dirt shelf that collects all kinds of nasty stuff from the road and gets on your pants when you get in and out of the vehicle. This being a white car, the dirt doesn't show up as much, but trust me, you can see that on my finger, right? I like keeping that area clean. That's why I keep some soap on the back seat here and some paper towels in the trunk. You might want to consider that too, especially if you're in the habit of wearing white pants. That all-wheel drive system does take up some rear trunk space. But at least we do get a spare tire, thank you. Now that we've covered a lot of the show and tell, let's take this out and do some driving. I'm told this vehicle's pretty quick, reaching 0 to 60 in just over 5 seconds. I can believe it. Let's see what happens. That turbo kicks in. We're moving pretty good. These brakes are perfect, by the way. We have an HUD in the mirror here telling us our 0 to 60 time, but I can't read it in the sunlight. So I didn't bring my stopwatch, but if you have one at home, you can click it on the screen and figure out the 0 to 60 time yourself. Next, we're going to hit some speed bumps to see how the ride is on impacts, and driving this on the street, I can tell you the ride is a bit on the firm side, but still very comfortable. We're doing 25 miles per hour. Speed bump number 1. Pretty smooth and solid. Number 2 coming up. Number 3. And here comes the nasty one at 30 miles per hour. Not bad, pretty smooth. A very good solid body structure too. On the negative side, the power steering is electric, so there's no feel or feedback really. On the positive side, it's quick and responsive, which is what we really need. And overall, I'm not complaining. We're going to be taking this out in the mountains to test the high-speed handling and cornering ability. So there's really no point in taking the cornering here in our turning circle, but hey, we're already here, so let's do it anyway. See if we can get some tire squealing. With the excellent traction we have on the all-wheel drive system, I don't think we're going to get any tire squealing. And the body lean is rather limited. This is doing pretty good. I'm impressed. More to come. As a city commuter, I've been driving this around 4 days. It's smooth, quiet, very fast. What more can you ask for? Oh, my dream car, which means she's my dream girl. I'm gonna have to pull up and wave at her. Producing turbocharged 4-cylinder engines is nothing new for German manufacturers, but the simple fact is, a lot of the ones that we've been offered are basically junk. Fortunately, that's not an issue with the Volkswagen Audi Turbo 4s. They're quick, economical, smooth, quiet, and reasonably reliable. And did I mention the engines are quick? I've driven a lot of performance cars on this curved road, and the Audi is separate from the others in the fact that it doesn't fight you. Anything you want it to do, it responds right away, whether it's steering, braking, cornering. It's one of the most responsive vehicles I've ever driven. This is another reason I like paddle shifters on the steering wheel. You can reach them regardless of the steering wheel position, and it definitely makes driving on curved roads more fun. By the way, this is a very quiet car. All that whooshing noise you hear in the background is the air conditioning. Originally, I wanted to put 1,000 miles on the clock before I turn the car in, but I just don't have the time. That's too bad, because this is a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. We're going to take a break here because it's lunchtime. And that Turbo 4 did a great job of keeping my pizza warm. And let's wash it down with some red hot coffee. I don't think this is what the Audi engineers had in mind when they designed this engine, but hey, it's called multitasking. After a week of driving, here's my take on the Audi A4 on a scale of 1 to 100. I'll deduct 2 points because of this dirt shelf. But other than that, I just can't find anything else to complain about. I've always been a BMW fan because of their driving characteristics, but the simple fact is Audi's caught up in this game and actually surpassing them in some areas. It's that good. While I'm a fan of the car, I'm really not a fan of the Audi pricing structure, which I find to be a bit on the high side. The base car starts around $36,000, but if you want the 252 horsepower turbo engine, you're going to have to fork up $40,500. And they have these option packages. I'm not going to read everything here. You can look on your screen and freeze it. That little group of goodies is going to cost you $9,500. Wow. And after all of that, they're still charging us extra for the cold weather package with heated rear seats and heated steering wheel. Another $500, as well as $350 for that wood package. And with the $975 shipping, here's your total, $51825. And for that fee, I'm still looking at a 4-cylinder engine rather than a V6. If you want that one with the 352 horsepower, you'll be up in the $60,000 bracket. I'm not saying the car isn't worth it, but, you know, I'd like to buy an Audi A4 S4 someday, and Audi guys, you're not making it easy for me. It's easy to see why most Audi purchasers either pay cash because they're rich, or do a month-to-month lease because they're poor like me. But the bottom line is, it's one of the best sedans I've ever driven. So still a thumbs up from me. Here are some links to other expensive German cars we've had. Click on the link and take a peek.